He should be able to go to whatever college he wants to, wherever it is, with not a lot of student debt. He needs to be able to afford his home. His taxes shouldn't be sky high. To afford his home. His taxes shouldn't be sky high. His auto insurance shouldn't be. That's what James Harris is standing here for. I got my zest, my start, my want to run for city council in the 5th grade. Same time I started public safety. I was a safety patrol officer at Cordis Elementary School on days. And in that same year, city council came to our school for career day. It was a gentleman by the name of Clyde Cleveland. He came and spoke to us. He told us what the city council was about. He taught us that the legislative branch of city government was the city council. It stuck with me. That same day I'm on my safety patrol on Davis when you get on 96. And I took it serious. Because I put my life on the line even then. I didn't want anybody to get hurt. And I'm standing there and I'll never forget. For those of you who know who cars and what cars are. Somebody drove by me in a Dodge Diplomat, blew the horn and gave me the thumbs up. It was Clyde Cleveland. He didn't know me from a can of paint, but he made me and my comrades and my peers feel like our voice mattered and our voice counted. And we could go to the polls then, even if we were in the 5th grade. That's how we felt. I still feel that way. The spotlight should be on the people, not the elected official. I'm a public servant. If you vote for James Harris, I'm going to keep serving you. I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to be present. I'm going to show up, not when the cameras are around, all the time. I'm your person for community, James Harris, City Council at large.
I don't know whether to stand up or sit down that day, good brother. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tyrone Carter. I'm state representative for District 1 right now, which covers East Forest, River Rouge, and Southwest Detroit. This is my 4th term in office. But prior to this, I spent 25 years at the Wayne County Sheriff's Department. And when I hear people say that they're rooted, I'll tell you that I'm deeply rooted in my community. Born, raised, educated, still live in the house that I grew up in, so that connection has always been there. So at the police department, when I hired in, we had a 2-tier wage system, PO1, PO2. I hired in 1984, we were making $6.99 an hour. The PO1s were making $13. How do you change that? You won't change it from the statement, from the audience. You have to get engaged. I ran for union steward 1, and in 5 years, we changed that. After that, I got promoted to detective, lieutenant. I retired in 2008 at the age of 45. And I asked myself, God, you're blessed. What can I do for the rest of my life? So for the next 10 years, I started my own security business, and I also was the president of my neighborhood organization. During that time, and I hear about the bankruptcy, the city closed the recreation center in my district, in my neighborhood, Kimball. I was able to negotiate not only the community benefits agreement with Maricon to reopen that center, but they paid for 10 scholarships for 10 years at Henry Ford Community College called PTEC. That's what negotiation and experience does. After that, I ran for city council. I lost 8 years ago, turned around and won my state rep seat. First term state rep, we were able to do the expungements. And I read in the paper the other day where 15,000 Detroiters have benefited from an expungement. If you've never had an F on your record, you have no idea what that means and what it can stop you from doing. We did that in legislation. Second term, now these are all in minority. Second term, we were able to fund sickle cell for the first time in the history of the state of Michigan. We fund everything else, but we had never funded sickle cell research. Third term, 2 years ago, we get majority. I'm the chair of the Detroit caucus. I'm over reg reform, and I have receipts here of all the money we sent to the city of Detroit. We can have a conversation. It's too long to list, but the list was even longer because the needs have been greater for so long. So, time. I'm running to come back home.
I'm the one y'all been waiting for. Those who know me, that's why y'all laugh. I've been all over this country. I worked for 4 administrations. I worked for Mayor Jackson in Atlanta. I worked for Tom Bradley in LA. I worked for Harold Washington in Chicago. I worked for, I was the youngest appointee for Coleman Young. And when I hear Coleman, I hear Sheffield talking about all the money they bring into this town, and we're not the ones getting it, it just pissed me off. It pissed me off to the 15th degree, to the 99th level, to the no, something got to be changing. When Santika told me the other day, Ms. Jenkins, however you say her name, it's not about black people. It's black folk killing each other. It's black folk shooting each
little 4-year-old got shot the other day. It's black boys who are carjacking us. We got a lawyer right here. The court is full of black folk. And if we don't change the policies and what we offer our young men, the mothers of those young men, do you know you cannot build a house on a lot in the city of Detroit? What city, can anybody that's been on city council don't need to go back? Who didn't change that rule where it had to be 50 feet instead of 30 feet? When we're in a city where the lots are 30 feet wide, you don't even know. All this lie about affordable housing, I don't want to live in no 900 feet apartment. Go look at these new apartments that all these white people that built that they won't live in. They live in Bloomfield, they live in West Bloomfield, they live in Dearborn with 3,000-4,000 feet, and then they gonna go come downtown, including the Detroit water on the one on the water. Those apartments are 1 bedrooms with a barely a living room and almost no dining room. Don't tell me about no affordable housing. You ain't got no affordable space. You charging $1,200, $1,500 for 800 feet, less than 1,200 feet. We need a change. And I'm sick of the legacy of Coleman Young fighting for black contractors, fighting for black housing, fighting for black folk. Is anybody here besides me black? Don't be ashamed to say it.
Time.
That's why I'm here.
My name is McClendon Starks II. First of all, I would like to thank WC3 and Jalen and Ms. Bailey, Ms. Moss, the Moja debate team, these young students that decided to be here today. And first of all, I would like to say that we stand
100 black men.
100 black men, absolutely. The new LC, don't want to forget anybody. We stand with Detroit, we work for the people. By representing District 7 on City Council, we understand that safe neighborhoods and thriving communities push our city forward. Residents deserve the resources, opportunities, and support in every district. We need nutrition in our kitchen, education for our children, safety for our women, and trust in our men so that we all can be successful Detroiters. On council, we plan to build the people because people build families, families build communities, and communities build futures. My name is McClendon Starks II. I'm the write-in candidate for District 7. We work for the people, and we're about the people. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Esther Hockenbook, and I am running for City Council in District 5. Thank you to 100 Black men and all the affiliates who helped to put this together, and thank you for coming to listen. I am a lifelong Detroiter, born on Virginia Park. And before I go into my experience, I want to urge you, this election, to do something a little bit different. Elect people who not only know the issues, but have the experience and the expertise to make a difference. If you come back here in another 4 years complaining about the same issues, you may want to think about who you elected. I have 30 years of professional, from HUD, Community Planning and Development, managing all those funds, the same funding that the City of Detroit receives that make up across the state of Michigan. I've worked at Michigan State Development Authority for 15 years, helping developers to build affordable housing. The CVS stores that you see throughout the city of Detroit, I worked on the pre-development team, from site selection, acquisition, to walking those plans through the city process, all the way through permitting. I worked at the grassroots level, elected 3 times on the Virginia Park Citizens District Council, elected, not appointed, by the community to build the plans for our area and delivering home repair grants to seniors. So I have been working behind the scenes for 30 years. Now I want to take that experience and my love for this city to work for you on City Council. I've been going out to communities, talking to community organizations, I've been talking to the Board of Education and to experts throughout the city to make plans to make a difference in the city. So I'm here to not just talk to you, but know that I'm here to listen. I know the issues, but I want to know each so that we can fill the gap, so we can make tomorrow better for our youth.
Time.
Thank you. Vote for Esther Hollywood on August 5th.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Denzel McCampbell. I'm a candidate for Detroit City Council. in District 7. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised on the city. I was born and raised on the city's east side, and now I've been a resident of District 7 for more than a decade now. I'm a graduate of Detroit, and I started working on voting rights and election protection to make sure we had more accessible elections and that we protected our right to vote. But what I realized also in that was, as we're expanding the access to the ballot box, we have to make sure that we are working on the issues that are important to people. I'm a former Detroit Charter Revision Commissioner. We had a very robust process of involving residents in shaping our revised charter. I served as a communication and political director on the congressional level, and now I'm the managing director of an advocacy organization called Parkhurst, Michigan, where we do a lot of work on the state level. I bring that up because not only am I fighting for issues when it comes to housing, when it comes to water affordability, when it comes to environmental justice, when it comes to freedom of movement with our public transportation, but I actually know how our government works. I know the structure of our city. I know the power that City Council has, but I also know how to work with other levels because we're going to have to. In District 7, there are a lot of issues that we have, but we also have to make sure that we're connecting with folks in the district, that we're involving our residents in those work groups to come up with policies together, that we're increasing the turnout and people and activity of young people and folks of all ages. That's how we're going to push back on voter apathy, that we're involving our residents and actually working on their behalf and making action. So for me, as a candidate for Detroit City Council in District 7, it is about being present, it is about involving people, and it's about actually acting on that. So, Denzel McCampbell, Detroit City Council District 7, vote for someone who actually knows the issues, who knows what's going on, and can act on your behalf. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon all. My name is Whitney Clark. I am a write-in candidate for Detroit City Council District 5, and a special thank you to 100 Black Men of Greater Detroit and Detroit Black and White, one of my favorite podcasts, for having us here today. I'm running here as a father, a husband, a business owner, an early childhood educator, and quite frankly, an advocate who understands the importance of the moment that we are in, and the type of leadership that we need in this moment is very, very specific. We need someone who can bring people together. We need someone who has bold ideas. We need someone who is able to articulate the argument for the structural change that we need. Because the issues that we have cannot be solved by solving the issues alone. We have to address the structural change that is needed. And in order to do that, you've got to have someone who's articulate, someone who can bring people together, and someone who specializes in finding common ground. This is what I'm going to deliver to you. We are going to deliver a new MOU for the land bank. It's going to be a 3-year MOU. We're going to deliver new housing, homes for $100,000, 3-bedroom homes that you can afford. We are going to do everything within our power to make sure that we have a higher quality of education, because you cannot bring back a neighborhood without a good school. Now, I'll say this to you in closing. Again, my name is Whitney Clark, write-in candidate for Detroit City Council District 5. We are less than 30 days away from the election, from the primary. Tonight, we're going to have to hear the details. The devil's in the details. We all know what the issues are. Let's start listening and leaning toward the candidate who's telling you how. Thank you very much. Whitney Clark, District 5.
All right, thank you all so much for those very thoughtful answers. The first question is pretty much going to be a general question for all city council members. We know that the city council is a legislative branch of our local government. And so one of the responsibilities is to pass ordinances and create create new laws for the city. So as all of you are vying to be a part of that legislative branch, what will be your legislative priorities if you become a city council member for the city of Detroit? If you are an incumbent, because you have 2 incumbents, do you plan on doing anything differently if elected into your next term? So think about your legislative priorities.
Thank you so much. Whitney Clark, writing candidate.
And, excuse me, 1
1 minute
minute.
to respond. Yes, ma'am. Whitney Clark.